revisiting the scandal for a new perspective. I am Humaira.
And I'm Alif. Today we are diving deep into one of the most infamous financial scandals of our time, the 1MDB scandal. But rather than just recounting the events, we aim to explore the lessons it holds for us today.
That is right. 1MDB isn't just a story about corruption and mismanagement. It is a lens through which we can understand the global finance, the governance, and the cracks in the system that we trust. So, Alif, why don't we start by setting the stage?
Sure. The 1MDB scandal, for those who may not be familiar, revolves around the Malaysian Development Berhad, a state-owned investment fund. It was established in 2009 to spur the economic development in Malaysia.
Oh, sounds good on paper, but in reality, you know what? An estimated 4.5 billion US dollar was stolen from the fund, and with about 3.5 billion US dollars embezzled early on. And by 2020, 1MDB's debt ballooned up to 7.8 billion US dollar, leaving Malaysians to foot the bill.
That is a staggering amount. And it wasn't just the money. The scandal exposed a web of global corruption with high-profile figures like Najib Razak and Jolo at the center.
Exactly. Another significant part of the scandal involved SRC International Sendirian Berhad, a subsidiary of 1MDB created to invest in strategic energy resources. And although SRC was later transferred to the Ministry of Finance, it remained deeply tied to the scandal itself.
Investigators found that 42 million ringgit Malaysia from SRC was funneled into Najib Razak's personal accounts, further highlighting the misuse of public funds.
This example shows how interconnected the scandals were. SRC International wasn't just a minor player, it served as a smaller yet crucial piece in the larger 1MDB puzzle.
And it emphasizes how far-reaching the misuse of power and public fund was. This wasn't just a failure in financial oversight, it was a systematic exploitation of trust and resources. What's fascinating and disturbing is how this wasn't just a Malaysian problem. 1MDB touched financial systems worldwide. From Swiss banks to Hollywood movies, it showed how global financial institutions can become complicit in corruption.
Oh, and it wasn't just about finance. The scandal brought Malaysia into the international spotlight, where earning Najib Razak the title of running the world's largest kleptocracy, and the sheer scale of the loot was unbelievable. The luxury watches, handbags, jewelries worth hundreds of millions.
Not to mention the 1.2 billion US dollars recovered and retained within US jurisdiction by 2022. That is progress, but the total debts and damages still linger for Malaysia.
So, Alif, what can we learn from this? One key takeaway is the importance of accountability in the governance. 1MDB's downfall stemmed from a lack of oversight. For instance, the fund started with just 1 million Malaysian ringgit in paid share capital. It is completely inadequate for managing billions of dollars.
True. And it also highlights the role of whistleblowers and investigative journalism. Without them, the scale of the scandal might never have come to light. Financial systems need checks and balances, especially when public funds are involved.
Yeah. Another lesson is transparency. The global banking systems that enable this, Swiss banks, Goldman Sachs, showed how vulnerable financial systems are to misuse when there is a lack of transparency.
Beyond governance, the scandal forces us to reflect on ethics in leadership. When leaders prioritize personal gain over public welfare, it creates systemic failures that take years to repair.
Absolutely. Najib Razak's action didn't just damage Malaysia's economy, they shattered public trust, they shattered our trust. It is a reminder of the importance of integrity in leadership.
And that's not just for politicians. Corporate leaders too must foster a culture of accountability and ethical decision making. Imagine if the executives and banks involved had acted as gatekeepers instead of enablers.
So, how do we move forward, Alif? Any thoughts?
For one, we need stronger global regulations. The 1MDB scandal exposed loopholes in financial systems that allowed billions to dissipate. Countries need to work together to close these gaps.
Okay, agreed. And for Malaysia, it is about rebuilding the trust, and the government must ensure that cases like 1MDB are lessons, not just for history books, but for policy reforms.
On a personal level, this scandal reminds us to question the systems we rely on. Whether it's voting for leaders or trusting institutions, we have a role to play in demanding accountability.
Well, that wraps up our conversation. The 1MDB scandal may feel like an old story, but its lessons are as relevant as ever. Corruption isn't just about numbers, it's about people, it's about the systems, and the choices that we make.
Rightly said, Humaira. By revisiting this scandal, we hope listeners take away not just what went wrong, but how we can prevent this from happening again.
Thank you for tuning in to Relearning 1MDB, revisiting the scandal for a new perspective. Don't forget to follow us and share your thoughts on today's episode.
Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.